Good morning, class. So, before we start off with the first chapter, let me just recall from the previous discussion which we had in the video. So, your business studies syllabus would be divided into two parts. The first one being the foundations of business or the basics of business, and the next would be corporations of finance and trade, etc. So, from these two parts, we have the first chapter that comes under the fundamentals of or the foundations of business, that is, nature and purpose of business. This will be our first chapter. So, before we get into detail regarding business, or before we start off with the essence of business, let us see some terms which we come across in day to day life related to business. So, you could have a look at the screenshot. So you have some terms there, terminologies, which is very frequently used in business studies and in daily life as well. So most of these terms, you know what is the basic idea of it. But still, let us just go through the definitions of each term. Yeah. So economic activity. Any activity that help us earn for our livelihood. So what does that mean? We simply earn money. We agree to do a job, and for that job we get us assured sum of money, and with that money we run or we go through our daily life. We have expenditures and we make those expenditures through this hard earned income, right? So all these activities that help us earn for our livelihood or for our daily life is simply called an economic activity. Next is industry. So again, there are different kind of activities that involve specialized skills. Yeah, you have very good examples given there: production of appliances, clothes stitching, tailoring. Yeah, so all these involve specified skills. So these skills or these activities can be grouped together, and there are organizations that perform these activities together. So that is simply called an industry. Now just go in deep and think of any other meaning that you can pinpoint towards industry. Just give it a thought. Yeah. So the next term, very important, trade. Trade simply means exchange of goods and services. Yeah. So what do organizations do, or companies or firms do? What do? They give us goods and services, and in turn we give them money or monetary kind, right? And profit, again a very important term. So what do you mean by profit? Definitely financial gains or excess of income given and that we earn out of all the expenditures by companies. Yeah, so that is simply called a profit. Risk. Now think in detail. When it comes to business, what do you mean by risk? So you're not, when you start up a new business, you're still not sure whether you will earn a profit or you may end up with a loss. So there is an uncertainty, or you're unsure what will happen in the future, right? And this degree of being uncertain or being unsure is simply called risk. In terms of business, to be more precise, it's uncertainty of profit or loss, majorly loss. Yeah. So risk is associated with the term loss majorly. So that is the risk taken by any businessman. The next important terminologies which goes hand in hand: production, sale and exchange. So these are the major activities that comprise in a business, or that is what sums up a business. They involve in production, they involve in sale, yeah, and they involve in exchange, that is simply your trade, yeah, for a degree of profit. So the next topic is characteristics of business activities. So what do you think business what does business speak about? What does business have? What does it feature? What are the features of businesses? So like the first terminology which we saw on the previous slide, it's an economic activity. Why is it called an economic activity? So there is a livelihood going on over there, right? So there is an objective from the company side to earn money, or simply, or to be more precise, to earn profit, and there is a livelihood. And it's not just for any other simple reasons of just providing something out of the blue. business activities are majorly conducted, or these economic activities are conducted with the major aim of earning a profit or earning income. So organizations work with the aim of earning a profit or an income. So that is why this is a business is always called a big economic activity. The next important feature, there is production and procurement of goods and services. So what do businesses do? They provide us with goods and services. And again, it's not just they provide goods and services out of the blue. They require resources, they require raw materials to produce these goods and services, right? And how do they procure these raw materials? From their suppliers, right? You would have heard of the term suppliers. So you can have a thought of it, right? So how goods and services are produced by the organizations and given out to the consumers? Yeah. So there is a production involved by procurement of goods and services, or sometimes it's just procurement of goods and services and then directly given out to the smaller shops, just like how retailers and wholesalers function, right? Yeah. Then the next feature is sale and exchange of goods and services. So there is an exchange going on in a business activity. There is a very good exchange or a sale taking place, that is, goods and services are sold out to the consumers for a price, yeah, and that price is their income, and the excess of this income over what the business spends is called your profit. So and the next feature is that all business activities deal in goods and services, and this happens on a regular basis. So business activities, it's not just one single sale or a purchase, and one single purchase or a sale does not mean business. So this happens on a regular basis. So just take an example. You go and buy Maza, the juice, yeah, from a small shop. So is it just one bottle? You might be buying just one bottle, but think from the shopkeeper's view, he gets it like every day. He gets his stock every, say, 1 week or maybe 2 weeks. He gets his fresh stock. So what does the shopkeeper do? He gets it from the company or the wholesaler. He gets it to his shop. So don't you think there is a daily or a regular basis of exchange going on over there, right? So that's your next feature. Again, next feature is profit earning motive. Every business functions with the major aim of earning profit, and it's not for any kind of empathetic view or to just give jobs for people. Every businessman, whenever they start a business, their major aim is to maximize profits or to earn the best profits possible, and there is a competition for it. So it's always increasing the volume of sales, reducing the cost, and increase profits. So that's the major funda when it comes to business. The next is uncertainty of return. So there is always an uncertainty, or businessmen are always unsure of what kind of returns they might get, yeah. So the profit cannot be always say forecasted, or the right amount or the correct amount of profits cannot be calculated, right? So there is lack of knowledge that persists there. So every business is definitely going to earn an income in the long run, but the business is still unsure how much they will be able to earn. So that is what uncertainty of return means. Next is element of risk. So element of risk is one important part or an unavoidable feature of any business. Any businessman always has to face a degree of risk. So it's not always that a businessman will always earn profits. So there is also a chance of loss, and being unsure of earning that loss or incurring the loss, to be precise. So that is what is called element of risk, because this happens because the business environment or the environment in which a business functions cannot be ascertained in detail beforehand. All right. there is always any kind of unfavorable situation that might occur in the future, and this may cause a company to incur loss. So this is what is called element of risk. It's not necessary that it will happen, but there are circumstances which we cannot say foresee, right? So these kind of situations sometimes make the company face loss, so that is called element of risk. Then the next topic is business, profession, and employment. So these are three different terminologies, okay, with vast differences. So you need to know what a business is. Like we had discussed earlier, business means production, purchase, sale of goods and services, or supply of services with a major aim of earning profit, right? Profession, on the other hand, is nothing but services that requires a defined set of skills or special knowledge, and providing that to other individuals or say a firm for a specified amount of fee. Employment, again, how does it differ from the other two? Individuals or say people like us, we work for others. Again, different companies or firms, any other organizations, that is again for a specified amount of remuneration or salary. So a task for you has been uploaded and will be shown for you. You need to find out the difference between business, profession, and employment, and also bring in some life examples for each of these terms, that is for business, for profession, and for employment. And the next will be classification of business activities, which will be dealing with the next day. So till then, please go through the previous topics, have a research on the internet, right, and please complete the tasks as foresaid. Yeah, thank you, class.